So the answer to this question, as it is with most things, is it depends. So I don't have an explicit yes or no for you, but hopefully this video can help you figure out what the answer is for you specifically. First and foremost, the plot isn't a sequel, it's an alternate timeline. The game takes place adjacent to the original, and it's more of a what-if scenario than it is a proper sequel. The main character is a mercenary who was killed by Byleth before the events of the base game, but now, because of shenanigans, he doesn't die after being killed. He meets the house leaders before they reach Remire, and now he is the Fire Emblem 3 Hopes for the Nintendo Switch. While it isn't a sequel, the game still expects that you have played through the original. There is some pretty late-game spoilers in the opening cutscene, and the pacing of the story details can be a bit jarring for the sake of getting through the stuff the player already knows about. With that being said, the game isn't going to leave you confused if you haven't played through Three Houses. It introduces all the characters properly and fills you in for if you haven't played the original. Just don't be surprised when the game pulls some stuff from way out of left field. Like, for instance, when busting Tomas for being a traitor, instead of doing anything in the base game with like that full month of build-up, a soldier walks up to him as he returns to the monastery and says, "Rhea would like an audience." And Tomas says,
"This doddering persona of mine will benefit me no further. Such hubris from mere vermin, you will pay for this."
And if you haven't noticed, due to my capture card being the price of a fry cook's soul, the cutscenes are way prettier than they were in Three Houses. You also have to remember that the plot of Three Houses was pretty messy too, so if you can overlook the javelins of light, the pacing shouldn't really be that big of a deal to you. Now, I suppose we should address the elephant in the room. Three Hopes is a Warriors game, and if you've played a Warriors game before, you should know that, oh boy, it's a Warriors game, and if you like that, great. If not, maybe give this one a skip. No, those new leaks sure do look real promising. If you haven't played a Warriors game before, just imagine Fire Emblem gameplay, then think of the furthest thing you could possibly be from it. Warriors games are hack and slash games where you mindlessly and effortlessly butcher thousands of soldiers per level. I'm someone who's never really tried this genre of game before, and I got through the first 4 chapters of all 3 routes on the hardest difficulty without losing a single unit. So my point is that these games aren't going to be the hardest in the world. If that's a deal breaker for you, I'm sorry. If not, let's keep going. The characters in Three Hopes are pretty consistent with their Three Houses counterparts. I haven't seen all the interactions, but from what I have seen, it doesn't look like it's going to have the Persona spin-off game problem where it boils away everything but the most surface-level gimmick of the character. Shez and Arvel are everything that Byleth and Sothis should have been in Three Houses. Shez is a common mercenary that thinks, talks, and acts like a human, which is great considering that he's our window into that world, and it would be pretty jarring if that window acted like an emotionless robot. Speaking of emotionless robots, I actually really like how they're handling Byleth in Three Hopes. Instead of backtracking on what Byleth is, they really leaned into her being an absolutely terrifying soulless monster. Both the actors did an incredible job delivering the character as bluntly and emotionlessly as possible, and the result makes Byleth feel like what we were told they were like in Three Houses. Meanwhile, Arvel fills the booth for Sothis' role as sassy, lost child. The main difference is that he's more openly affectionate to Shez and makes it abundantly clear that Shez's tomfoolery is part of why he likes him. The voice acting for this game is also stellar because, of course, it is at this point. Don't be fooled by the opening where the voice work is kind of meh, it gets way better really, really quickly. So now down to the golden question. Should you buy Three Hopes? If you're just looking to spend more time with the characters you fell in love with from Three Houses and don't really care about the gameplay, absolutely. If you're looking for a fun, turn your brain off hack and slash, Three Hopes fits that bill as well. And if you're worried about the plot, don't be. It'll fill you in on what you need to know, and you can ignore it if you want, since it is a Warriors game and also a spin-off. If you like Three Houses for its gameplay and want something challenging or something set at a similar pace, maybe sit this one out, or at least try the demo before buying it. The characters are there, the story is there, it's the same location, but the gameplay is very, very, very different. And if you are not a fan of that fast-paced gameplay, you're probably not making it through to the end. Anyways, that's it. There's no outro. You can leave now. Go on. Shoo. I've got stuff to do. Seriously, the video is over. Bye. I'm gonna leave now. I'm ending it. Goodbye.